Is that able to fill this place up? Yes, it is. Oh my god. Oh my god, the possibilities. Greetings everyone and welcome back to Timberborn, and it seems like the developers over here just love working on their game. And boy oh boy, do I love developers who do. So Timberborn 1.0 was not the final state of the game, and we have a bunch of different fun things that we can talk about. I'm gonna skip through the nerdy stuff because we're probably gonna use that in a future playthrough. Hopefully. But man, I really love all of these statistics, okay? They make it a lot easier to figure out, you know, bottlenecks in your production and whatnot. Okay, so we are going to be taking a look at the new buildings and everything that we have access to, and the first thing I want to see is a beaver, actually. The reason being that this map is where we got the achievement for finishing the wonder, as well as making sure that everyone is at max happiness, and from what I can see, yeah, that is no longer the case. We can get even more bonuses now. So it looks like for the Folktails, we have the domed garden, a sauna, and there's another wonder over here as well, a hall of abundance. Alright, then we've just unlocked the sauna and we're gonna be placing a couple over here. Lovely. Oh my god, they're really cramped up in there. Next up is the domed garden, which actually needs water in order to function. Interesting. Let's just place this thing back here, and this is pretty massive if I'm being honest. Oh, but don't let the size hold you back, it's actually pretty cheap to build, okay? And how does this work? Oh, lovely. Wait, do they get wet fur from this? They do not. I guess they're not really in the water themselves, okay? So no reason for them to actually get the wet fur. What about the sauna? The sauna should get the wet fur. Everyone's always wet when they come out of a sauna. Come on, people. And finally, we have the Hall of Abundance, which is a wonder that's supposed to be more expensive than these wonders, but a lot cheaper than, you know, ending the game. Yeah, several times cheaper, actually. Oh, the range on this is really nice, 30 tiles. Lovely. Alright, we're gonna make some room for this over here. Yeah, let's just quickly do that, and we can just unlock the Hall of Abundance for 15,000 science points. Alright, so the Hall of Abundance. What does this place look like, actually? Doesn't look that abundant to me, if I'm being honest. Can you walk through this? Oh, hell yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm really happy that they thought about that. Okay. And there we go. We have the max possible bonuses right now. So 280% working speed bonus, 75% movement speed, and a life expectancy of 130%. Oh man. Honestly speaking, this makes me think that for Folktails, you should definitely just go full beaver and the bots are completely useless. Except of course, you know, in places where beavers can get injured. Because the bots work really slow. And also punch cards are pretty darn expensive. You're much better off just making extra bots at that point. Okay, enough about the Folktails. Let's go to the Iron Teeth now. For the Iron Teeth, we have these massagers over here, which actually look like they're torturing the beavers instead of massaging them because of, you know, how pointy those ends are. Oh, brother. And the other new building that we have is this dance pit over here, which also requires water. And once more, if I'm being honest, this should give the wet fur bonus. Excuse me. Yeah, this should give the wet fur bonus, and the sauna for the Folktails should give the wet fur bonus. Come on, game. But holy moly, the Arch of Progress is, yeah, it's pretty progressy. And once more, the beavers can walk through it, which just makes it so much better than all the other wonders. Oh my god. Do you know what this makes me wish for? This makes me wish for stuff like the Tribute of Ingenuity to also have tunnels at the bottom, as well as the Earth Repopulator. But this one, yeah, well, it needs to have an entrance. But there's no reason this building can't have a tunnel underneath it. One tiny little second, people. There's no reason we can't have a tunnel underneath it. Yeah, all you really need to do is just have some levees, some platforms, and then build your Tribute of Ingenuity on top of all of that. And it looks just as good. Kind of, hopefully. There we go, with just a few more swings of the hammer, we have our arch fully completed. Oh my god, I am loving the art over here, okay? Oh my god, it lights up during the night. It just looks so much better than pretty much everything we've had so far. I love this so much. Also, how does this one look? kind of sad compared to the new one, but hey, it gets the job done. But you know what? These decorations and new wonders are not the only things that they added in this update. Have you ever wished that your beavers could cross this reservoir over here without having to climb up the stairs over here and then climb back down the other side? Well, you can do that now. Let us just flood everything back here so that we can do some retrofitting over here. We now have access to this amazing building called an airlock. Simply place it over here and out comes your beaver on the other side. Do the same thing when you're exiting the dam and then simply build your reservoir around it. Let's do the same over here as well. And now, if we just let this place fill up with water, yeah, the airlocks don't actually leak anything, but beavers can simply walk through them. Easy peasy. This airlock is actually part of a few more buildings. The next one is this impermeable power shaft, and you see this can transmit power while blocking water. That by itself is pretty insane, something that was always possible, but we would have to use impermeable floors and vertical power shafts. So if you need to power something that's on the other side of a massive dam, yeah, that's not really a problem anymore. But you see, this impermeable power shaft only exists for a specific reason, which is to make sure that powering this device over here is, not as problematic. So let's actually use it right now then. Because I want to run some experiments on how this new pump works and whether or not it can help us pressurize stuff to insane levels. Or maybe it won't and it'll just fizzle out. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is place one of these compact mechanical pumps over here along with the impermeable power shaft, and then we can just lock this place up. Perfect. Now this pump does use a lot of power, 700 horsepower actually. So what we're going to do is we are going to get a couple of steam engines for ourselves and figure this out. For now though, we're gonna set the flow rate to 0 per second. Okay, so if I build some levees over here, and then if we turn this on, say even a little bit, say 0.1, is that able to fill this place up? Yes, it is. Oh my god. Oh my god, the possibilities. Wait a second. Is there any limit to how high it can go? Let's increase the speed over here, so it can only go up to 0.25 per second. Okay. It's now higher than the original reservoir over there. Is it gonna keep going? Because if this is actually no limits, then this is insane. Yeah, I'm glad the drought is ending because we're gonna need all of that water right now. Fellas, Timberborn is never gonna be the same. Oh my god, why can we do this now? This is so OP. I'm pretty sure we can use this to make so much power. Yeah, so each of these small compact ones are making 30 horsepower. So you basically need like 25. Well, technically 24, but 25 to break even. That's doable. That is so easily doable. Oh, I love this so much. Okay. Man, I can't believe they added such an overpowered thing to the game. But hey, wouldn't be the first time they did something so crazy. Yeah, what else is new? What else is new? We have succulents. Oh, I'm ready to leave this map again. Say hello to a new plant. And this plant is a succulent. Okay, I just accidentally went into it. This plant is a succulent. It sucks water out of the air or ground or something. Sadly, it's kind of like an emergency situation because if you look over here, it takes 50 days to make a single unit of water. So it kind of sucks. So if you have like a massive cliff or something, just plant a bunch of it over there and then you can, just turn off your forester as you're never gonna need it ever again. But the other fun thing about it is that you can also automate a lumberjack flag based on how much water you have. So if, for example, you're running out of water, your colony has literally like 0 water or something, you can enable a lumberjack flag to harvest all of these succulents over here. And you'll get like a bunch of water that you otherwise would not have, obviously. Unfortunately though, if you want to sustain a beaver colony off of just succulents alone, then you're gonna need like over 100 succulents for a single beaver. And that's not even counting, the labor that would go into harvesting 100 succulents. And that's 100 succulents for a single beaver. Plus, whoever is harvesting them has a medium chance of injury. So basically, your emergency situation depends on, you still having some spare beavers around. Because if your harvester gets injured, then who's gonna get the water for everyone? So apart from these major features, we got some well-being buffs as well. So contemplation spots, lidos, scratchers, swimming pools, rooftop terraces, and the campfire buffs are gonna last longer. And yes, that also means that you're going to need less of those buildings. Sluices got completely removed from the game. So if you had sluices in your build, then you're gonna need to move to fill valves, and I'm gonna show you how to do that in just a second, 1 second. So if you had sluices in your map, they're now completely replaced with fill valves, which are these thingamajiggies over here. And what you can do is actually, if you place a fill valve and then you place a contamination sensor right behind it, say like this, and then you automate this fill valve based on this contamination sensor. So now you've just turned this fill valve into the old school sluice gate, but instead of setting the contamination threshold over here, you set it on the contamination sensor, and then on the fill valve, you basically just set the heights you want it to be based on the contamination. So when there's contamination, you want this to be 0, and when there's no contamination, then just maintain, say, a downstream height of 0.3. And that's basically it. You don't need to be afraid of it. It's really simple. And finally, something that people were asking for, since they added automation. You see how I have like these multiple relays over here and yeah, they're kind of annoying? Well, I don't need to do that anymore. I can just make a single relay now and add more conditions, which is exactly the behavior that, is ideal for a game like Timberborn. So this one relay is going to do the work of all 3 of these. I can't believe that this has been unfinished since, 10 years ago. Lovely. And now we can just get rid of all of these other relays and automate the control tower based on this single relay, which essentially just determines if, any of these buildings are supposed to be on. Hey, min-maxing is fun, even if you don't really need to do it. And would you look at that, all our succulents got planted as well. I'm pretty sure they should propagate on their own as well, because everything in this list does, and succulents are in this list, so they should as well. Apart from that, we've had plenty of visual changes as well. These look amazing. Yeah, the beavers have gear now, based on their jobs, of course. I love it. Succulents definitely need a buff. I wish Folktails got a little bit more love. They're kind of, underpowered in the mobility department as well as the bots department. This is not how everyone's going to be using this. It's clear that the developers have a direction. And I like it. Bye!